Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Ian. I had a request on the last video from one of my subscribers to make the videos a little bit longer, so I've done that. I'd be very interested to have your thoughts in the comments below on what you think of the longer format. If you prefer that, then I'll do that in future. So on with the ICM Leyland Retriever. The spare wheel and its mount have finally gone on the truck, and they're just drying at the moment. They've gone on absolutely fine, and it's a good fit, so no problems there at all, and that's just drying off to become solid. I've been painting up some parts, all the various sections of the cabin, and I've started to actually put the cabin together. So you can start to see it looking more and more like a truck cabin. I've only just tacked this centre fillet on. I don't know whether you can see the gap through there at the moment, but I'll get rid of that. It's just literally held in place at the moment at one end, and that fits beautifully. Once you get the right position, there it is, fits absolutely beautifully onto the truck. And there's a piece that I just showed you before, this piece here, which will go on the rear of that section. So we're slowly putting the cabin together. Once I've got so far with it, then I'll probably do some weathering in here, but before I actually fit the whole cabin section, I will put a gloss coat on it, so that I can do some weathering before I matte coat it. The thing I haven't done so far is I haven't fitted these doors. They fit on both sides here. They're a different colour, so I'm going to leave them off until after I've actually gloss coated and weathered this, and I'll weather these separately. They will fit well after, so there's absolutely no panic to fit them. Even right the way into this section here, you can see there's absolutely plenty of room to fit them. Even once the steps go in at the sides, there's tons of time, so I'm not going to worry about those, and I'll paint them and weather them up separately. So I'm just in the process of sorting the mud guards out, and then we'll see where we go with this. So a little bit more done today. I've added the rest of the exhaust system. Now the wheels are on, hopefully I shouldn't be getting a problem from that, and I have managed, I don't know whether you can see that, but I have managed to just open up the end a little bit with a small drill. If I get some black paint into that, it'll look absolutely fine, I would imagine. I've obviously the rest of this to rust up in the same way. As well as that, I've been working on the cab, and this is it. I've painted the actual rim of the wheel black. I don't know whether that's correct or not, but generally vehicles of that age didn't have a metal rim. It was more like a Bakelite of some kind. So that's done, and the seats are in, and the actual cab is fitted together, and that will quite happily go on here. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it does fit really well on there. Before I can do that, I've got to deal with the mud guards, and I've actually got them painted up now. So they're almost ready to go on, just waiting for the paint to dry before I fit those. As well as that, I've been working on the radiator. This is actually in two parts. the actual radiator itself fits inside the radiator grille. At the moment it's all green, but the actual radiator will be painted black. I'll probably just hand paint that, because in front of that sits one of the PE parts, and that's this absolutely delicately beautiful radiator grille. Nice little hole in it that I've been able to pop the cocktail stick through to put some paint on it, and that's where the starting handle goes. This again will be black. I was painting green, so I've just used some green. I just sanded it lightly with a 1000 grit sanding stick just to get a key, and I've just used the green that I was using. I've also been working on the fuel tank. I've still got the seams to deal with, and the just finishing off the sprue nibs, but it's gone together really well. The detail's really nice. There are no visible sink marks or ejector pin marks, and the fuel cap is really very nicely detailed, so that'll look great once it's weathered up. And there's also these two brackets which mount the fuel tank, and they go on really well like that. Really nice fit. They just slot into place. You can see they're absolute solid fit. Annoyingly, on both of them, they had an ejector pin mark in this corner. Really difficult to get to. So what I've done is I've scraped with my knife, and then I managed to get a really fine sanding stick in there, just to help. And then I've used a bit of extra thin to try and get rid of any sanding marks, and I've done that on both of them, and hopefully that will be okay. But yeah, that's just a little annoyance, but they're only small. And also this little bracket here, which fits around the back of the cab at the bottom. So until I've mounted the cab, I can't fit this, but that basically sits in there like so. So that's ready to do. Once I've got the cab in place and the radiator on and the fuel tank mounted, we're ready to do the back. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be really interesting to get the back done. So a few bits and pieces to paint up, finish off, get into place, and then once that's done, we can start doing the back of the truck. The front will be almost finished at that point. A little bit more done today. Managed to finish the cab and get it mounted onto the chassis. There aren't that many points on the cab to actually get any glue in once it's in place, but there are 2 or 3, so I've managed just to tack that in place. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's very firm on the actual truck, on the chassis, and I've got the radiator in, as you can see. The radiator has a couple of really fiddly bits on here. There's a PE top and bottom. The top one says Leyland, the bottom one says Retriever, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to read that. Still, they're on there. And I've a few bits of touch-up to do on the paint, sadly, but you know, that's modelling, isn't it? So that's what I've been doing. I've also got the fuel tank painted up. I got a hair in it, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to just sand that and repaint it, but that's no problem. I can soon do that. And there's also the bar that goes across the back that's got a coat of paint on. And in the meantime, while I've been doing that, I've made a start on the rear. So this has gone together quite well. The bottom here of the back of the truck has 2 little lugs either side, and these sides just push into it. I found I had to just file those off a little bit, just to allow them to sit in properly. There'll always be a small gap, of course, but it was a bit wide, so I've just made those fit a little better, and it fits perfectly into this piece, which will be the front. So it's gone together really well. So I'm just letting that dry, and that of course will sit on the back like so. Once it's complete, it'll all be on there. So I'm looking forward to that. There are a couple of what I assume are benches which fit into here. Always tricky to do on camera. They fit in there like so. I'm on the other side. I'm not going to fit those yet because I want to get as much of this back done as I can before I put any paint on it. And although there will be a tailgate up, there'll still be an opportunity for you to be able to see inside this end. There aren't any ends on these. So I need to be able to spray underneath here before I fit these. So there's plenty of stuff to go on the bottom before I spray it up, and then we'll get some paint on it. These sides, of course, I would imagine are wood. I'll need to do a little bit of research. These little bars here are separate, and you have to glue those on. They're all right. They're not too fiddly. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with these. I'm very new to modelling, as you know. The obvious thing would be to paint them wood, hairspray, and then do some green, and then do some chipping. But I don't know whether I'll do that this time round. We'll see. We'll see. See how I feel when I get to it. But there you are. Hopefully you've enjoyed the update. And the next time you see the back, it should be significantly further on. We're getting on well into the build. I hope you enjoyed that. One little thing I forgot to mention during the video was there's a little plastic part that's the radiator cap. I've managed to lose that. It's been eaten by the carpet monster. I've been looking for a couple of days and I haven't found it as yet. So I may have to cheat and make a little part to do that. We shall wait and see. These things tend to crop up when you're not looking for them. I can only hope it really is quite a small part. But not to worry. I hope you enjoyed the longer format. Do let me know in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing to do and it does help the channel enormously. And if you click the bell, of course, YouTube will let you know every time I release a new video. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.